Let's start this discussion. So Kathy, tell me what, talk to us about what made you write this second book.
You know, when I was trying to figure out what to do next, I wrote Lovely Traces of Hope, and I thought, okay, good. I'm done with that. I kind of felt like I'm done with my grieving. Let's move on. And I know I'm not done with my grieving. I will forever be a grieving mom. But at the same time, I was ready to take some next steps. And so last year I did some show up videos, and I was talking all about vision and goal setting and taking next steps. And I thought that I knew what I was going to do, but with every step forward I took, I felt this stuck place, as if there were chains around my ankles, or I was in knee deep up in mud, or actually the feeling that I had was that I was tethered. Do you remember playing tetherball when you were a kid?
Yeah.
You hit the ball and it just goes round and round and round. And I just felt like I was the pole trying to move forward, trying to hit my ball. And I was just instead getting wrapped up in it and getting stuck. And so it made me very aware for every step I tried to take forward. It made me very aware that I wasn't moving forward. And in 2014, a friend of mine asked me the question, Kathy, do you know your value? And some of you know her because she was the founder of the networking group many of us have been part of. Her name was Jen Wensky. And she said, I knew her about 5 minutes. Sat down, introduced myself. She said, do you know your value? And I was a coach. I'd already been a coach. Goodness, that was 2014. So I started my coaching in 2010, 11. In 11. So I thought, this is ridiculous. I'm coaching other women to know their value and I don't even know mine. So as I was working through that process, I began to realize that I'm asking the same questions my clients were asking. I'm feeling the same stuff, hearing myself say the same words that my clients were saying is, I want to make a difference. I want to do things that matter. I want, to do the important stuff, but I feel stuck. And I thought, okay, if I'm feeling that way and my clients are feeling that way, what are we going to do about that? So that's really where the book came from.
So tell me why is it important to you to talk about this stuff, the stuckness that we find ourselves in?
I really don't want to talk about the stuckness. I want to talk about the really fun stuff. I like what you do because you have this, you get to talk to people about, okay, here's what you do for your business. Here's the next step you can take. These are these things. And you have to get people unstuck all the time. But I realized that my stuck place and my woman that I work with is really, dealing with the stuff in life, her story, her belief system, her understanding. And I was beginning to realize how many ceilings I was hitting, how many walls I was having to break through. And I thought, I really want to figure this out. Michelle Cachat is an author. She's also launching a book. I'm on her launch team. I just signed up for her launch team. Recommend her highly. Use some of her quotes in the book. But she said once that authors don't write books that they know everything about. They write books that they want to know something about. And so this became a very important part of me figuring out where I'm stuck. Is it a mindset issue? Is it an emotional issue? Is it a belief system? Where am I stuck and what can I do to get through it? And if I can do that, then I can coach other women to do that too. So I'm now a coach of stuck places and I'm okay with that. I think at Tribe Writers last year, which Tribe Writers is the conference that I've attended for the last 5 years, and I know some, Nancy is from there, Tamala is from Tribe. So at Tribe Writers last year, a speaker by the name of Allison, oh girls help me out, I had it until just now. She wrote a book called Fierce Faith. I'll think of it in a minute. Anyway, she talked about the fact that God gives us fields to work in. He gives us direction that we're supposed to go. And in this field that he gives us, we look at it and we think, oh, I don't want that field. That field is rocks and weeds and it's going to be a lot of hard work in order to harvest anything. I don't like that field. And I live in the cornfields of Ohio. I grew up in the Texas Panhandle where there's a lot of fields. I know fields. And so when she said that, and she said, so we take our time and we go to a different field. We think, yeah, I'm not going to work that field. I'm going over here. And then that one doesn't quite work out. So we go to another field, and then that one doesn't work out. And we go to yet another field. And as she was saying that, I realized that's what I'd been doing for the past 3 years since I wrote Lovely Traces of Hope. I'd been trying to go from one field after the other, and it wasn't working, only to turn and find I was standing back in front of the field that God gave me in the first place, the field that was weedier now than it was then, the field that I needed to work through myself before I could help other women to work through that. And once I owned that, then I began to go through the process of figuring out my own stuck spot. So that's why it's really important to me, is because I'm very aware that this is what I've done. This is what I've done since long before Leisha died, since college days. These are part of the messages that I've been speaking to women, to people about for a long time. So, sorry, I keep thinking of things to share.
No, that's okay. So it's Allie Worthington?
Worthington, that's her. Thank you.
Yeah. Tamala gave us that.
Oh, thank you.
And Nancy says that she's been going to a lot of other fields too. So that's interesting. I like the metaphor. Myself, I've been stuck at times and definitely have gone looking at other fields. And then you're right. God brings you back to the one he wants you in to begin with. And so we kind of spin our wheels going through these other fields. We learn along the way, but still, we're spinning our wheels.